3, 2. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of OafDiscussions. I'm your host, Kid Swift, the man with the gift here to uplift. Hey, everybody, how's it going? Hope you guys can hear us well. Welcome back to the first visual episode we've done in a while. We're back in the basement. Got a nice little setup here. But yeah, we're back, of course, with me today. It's Mr. Webb. What's going on?
Actually, for this week, in honor of Reg E. Cathey, you're gonna have to call me Dirty D throughout the remainder of this episode.
Oh my god, I was so sad about that because that was the first thing I thought about. Because somebody said they was like his name was Reg E. He was I knew him from House of Cards and from such and such.
The Wire.
And I was like, his name is Dirty D because he's Dirty D, damn it.
Name's Dirty D because I'm Dirty D, damn it.
Yeah.
God, I love Pootie Tang, man.
That was the first thing I thought about. I drove my mom crazy with that movie when it first came out because I would watch it every single day.
My mom hated that movie too.
She couldn't stand it. She was like, it's so stupid. I was like,
that's the point.
Yeah, no, that's the great thing about it. It's insane, but we love it. But yeah, so welcome back, guys, to another week. We're starting off kind of getting back to the rhythm of doing more of our visual setup.
Oh, I meant to add on to the discussion with Reggie Cathey is that he would have been 50. He would have been 60 this year. He passed at 59.
Yep.
And as most of you all are aware, he was known as Freddie Hayes in House of Cards, which helped him win a Emmy in 2015 for best guest actor. I think that's what they named it as. It was kind of similar to supporting actor. So just wanted to throw that out there and go from there.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And R.I.P. definitely. He was always great. And of course, like we said, love him for Pootie Tang. I mean,
I love everybody from Pootie Tang.
Yeah, everybody deserved all the awards for Pootie Tang. But yeah, so we're back again another week. Brent may jump in on us here in a few minutes. I think Shane is tied up today. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed last week's episode. That was fun having our guest on. Hopefully we'll get him back on soon.
Yeah, shout out to Bailey the Great.
Yeah.
Shout out to Big Dave from Ball Sports. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was... I'm not gonna lie. I was afraid that was gonna be cluttered.
Yeah, absolutely.
Having that many people, like 5 people all at once, but that turned out way better than I expected.
Because it's so funny. I remember when we first moved, like after we did our that first season here in the basement, and then I started taking the stuff and doing the recordings with Brent and Jacob in Louisville. It was so funny because we recorded in Jacob's living room. And one of the things that his wife, Kim, said, when the first couple times we recorded was you guys were just talking all over each other. Everybody was talking at the same time. And we've gotten better with that, obviously, immensely compared to the way we was. But I was definitely worried about that coming back with that many people, especially when you have 2 people in the same place and then 3 people
in different areas
over the air. So you can't read body language is easy. It's just a matter of
reading the room, reading the space.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, listen.
You'll get your shit in at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
just sit tight.
But it was great. We got to thank those guys big time for joining us and hanging out with us. But yeah, another week, another episode. See what we got. First and foremost, like we always start out. How was your week? How are things going?
It is going pretty.
We're a week away from.
Yeah. We'll get to that. We'll get to that.
The celebration.
We will get to that. I've been pretty chill for the most part. As far as I hit a new PR as far as working out.
Nice.
So incline bench press. I sit there and wanted to stunt for some reason on Snapchat and Instagram. So put that on as a story. It's gone now, so don't worry about it. I had fun with that, which will also kind of go and coincide with the next topic that we got coming up pretty soon.
Nice.
So I feel pretty good, especially Saturday. It was okay, yeah, I'm hitting new PRs as far as that workout.
Yeah.
And then I got to go right back to legs, which it was oh hell, it's come Tuesday. So there's that.
Very nice.
I ended up starting Altered Carbon on Netflix.
I did too.
I'm only 2 episodes in.
Okay.
I'm invested.
Yeah.
I mean, it's I don't know. The first 2 episodes, it's okay. I'm getting a lot of Blade Runner vibes from it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That was one of the big comparisons I know that people were making when they first introduced the show.
Right.
Was talking about that, yeah.
So it's cool. It's very interesting how they make sure that everyone got their own genitalia shot
Yeah, everybody
You're
got
getting everything.
Yeah.
You're getting breasts, you're getting ass, you're getting peen.
Yeah. Hold on, just before you go, Brent. Just so you know, you are on the air. Welcome, my brother.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're good.
Hey, everybody.
We're just doing our intros right now. But Webb's in the middle of just doing his intro, talking about that he had started watching Altered Carbon, which I know I started too, and but yeah, he's doing his intros right now. But yeah, so welcome, brother. Brent is on the line, just so everybody knows.
All right.
Yeah, I started Altered Carbon too. I think I'm on episode 3. I'm liking it so far. More so, I'd say there's a lot of visual stuff I really like.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of backstory stuff they keep alluding to, which I'm interested to see how it goes.
Yeah. And it's at least bit by bit, as far as like kind of feeding you a little bit to kind of make you want to figure out, okay, well, can I know a little bit more about what this is about?
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
then they will tell you.
Yeah.
It's just, like little by little, rather than, what was this one show that I was watching where they were just holding off on the mystery for the longest until like later in the season. It's like, I ain't got time for this.
Right,
Tell me what I want to know.
Yeah.
And then give me another. Yeah. That's when you can tell there's a good show when they have a mystery and they let you know little by little.
Yeah.
As it goes on, rather than a show that just kind of holds off because that's all they have is that mystery.
Right.
And they just keep holding off until it is like, okay, this is a big reveal. We're going to show it to you, but you got to keep watching for the next 5 episodes before we reveal it. And it was like, yeah, y'all don't have shit after this. I can already tell as soon as y'all resolve this,
it's over.
It's over.
Yeah,
the show's over with.
Yeah.
So, but at least with this, what's that?
I've seen a show like that. What?
What's that now?
I've seen a show like it just the way you described it, just like that. It was like some teenagers, some high school kids. Somebody murdered somebody named A. Like they were like the murderer.
Oh, you're talking about Pretty Little Liars.
That.
Yeah.
That's how that show was.
That show's been dragging on for years.
Yeah, and I don't know if they've ever revealed who the actual serial killer or killer is. Like that's the whole thing of that show. And I was. Like I had your feelings. I was like, I ain't got time for this. Like, this is dumb. Like I think I already know who it is. Like just let me know yes or no.
And I think it was one of those things where it was revealed who the killer was, but it was like, but they're not the only one. And it's like, like really, like in this show, man. Like that show's been on for so long, and it's got one of those like crazy cult followings too. But yeah, it's definitely one of those shows for sure.
That's definitely not a show I would have normally watched, but I was kicking it with somebody, and that was their show. And so I, through kicking it, watched. Hell, I think I might have watched the whole season. I was kicking it pretty tough. It's been a lot.
Yeah, I was kicking it for a while then.
Yeah.
We was kicking it kind of tough.
Yeah.
Like, autoplay just kept happening.
It's got one of those cult followings, kind of like Supernatural. As far as like what I've seen,
they've been on for a while.
Yeah. Not as long a running show, but as far as like the fan base is like, there's a shit ton of people that love it. So.
But at least they have multiple mysteries, I guess.
Oh yeah. It's like Scooby Doo mysteries, like grown up Scooby Doo mysteries,
like TV 14 Scooby Doo.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, so welcome, Brent. How's it going, brother?
Everything is good. Everything's actually. Okay, everything's good. So let me break it down this way.
Yeah.
I've taken too many losses in 1 week.
Okay.
All right.
That's one. Okay.
I play in a basketball league, a little church league, all fun and dandy. Can't really cuss. I mean, you're supposed to be in the house of the Lord, or at least the gym of the Lord, I guess. So you can't really cuss or trash talk, things like that. As you all know from last week's episode, I had the flu. So I'm finally recovered from the flu.
Right.
So this week was the first time I tried to actually do more than go to the bathroom, go to the couch, wash some clothes, like actual real exercise.
Right.
Let's just say I feel like I haven't worked out in about like 5 years now. That's the kind of conditioning I came back to.
Right.
Anybody who's ever had the flu, and was like fully working out or any like major sickness, things like that, when you come back, you can't do the things that you want to do. We took a loss.
Right.
We took a loss that game. Right? Team finally played as a team.
Okay.
So we went from bad New Bears to Mighty Ducks getting it together.
Okay. That works.
All right.
That works.
So we took that L. I hate losing.
Yeah.
But we lost, took it on the chin. There were some finer points that happened that we can work on, progress with. Cool. Today was my first debut of indoor sand volleyball.
Oh, that sounds fun.
I'm also playing in a volleyball league, indoor sand volleyball league.
Yeah.
4 of us showed up. It is smart to have at least 6 people to, man all the spots on the court. But we picked up 2 randos, and they joined in. I realized they were real volleyball players.
Okay. Okay.
They
Ringers.
set themselves up, like, you know how you watch like beach volleyball? One of them sets the other one up. The other one, like, pops it up in the air and spikes it home.
Yeah.
They did that shit between themselves.
Okay. They were real volleyball players.
Like on the fly. Not a contact, not like, hey, Gary, that was you. No. Not that. Like real talent. We just move it, right? Now,
Yeah.
I'm just giving y'all a little bit about my life right now. So, what I realized is, I don't know all the professional rules of volleyball. I'm used to backyard family reunion rules.
Right.
So, like, the ball hit the net on the serve, I stopped playing. I was like, that shit don't count.
Shit's over.
I caught the ball. Everybody else was like, what the fuck are you doing? Sorry, what the hell are you doing? They're like, well, you got to edit these. I'm going to try to be nice in the intro.
It works. We're happy about
just
that.
let it fly. Just let it fly at this point. Just you already had it. And apparently, this didn't take place at the church, did it?
No, the second story is away from the church. It is at, it don't matter where it's at, but it's at a Steelers bar. I already don't like the place just because it's the Steelers bar, but that's here nor there. That's the fan in me. But yeah, so family reunion rules are messing up my skills in volleyball. Because I literally hit the net, I was like, that thing's done. I caught the ball. Everybody else started yelling at me. I was like, what?
Like a basketball rebound.
I was like, what do you mean? Like, that's a point? Oh, you got to be kidding me. That's still live?
That's
I
funny.
had no clue. Honest to God, I can't tell 5 other people that I thought this was, I still believe in family reunion rules. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't say that, or they're going to walk you off the stand. All right? So, my whole goal in that game was to not get walked out by my team. Not for them to be like, you know what?
Not to be asked to leave.
Thank you for your donations, but if we need a sub, we'll call you. Like, I was trying my best not to become that person. Not because I'm not skilled enough to play volleyball.
Right.
Apparently, there's a cup move that I do that's still volleyball rules that you can't do. Everybody kept bringing me over to the side, like I was getting in trouble with the teacher. Like, come up to the desk, come up to the front. You can't do this cup thing. You gotta quit. What are you talking about? I got it over. Yeah, but that's illegal.
You doing illegal formations in volleyball?
Huh?
You doing illegal formations in volleyball?
Basically,
you trying to cross somebody up?
I'm doing all the wrong things. But I was taught you're not playing unless you cheat. All right, you're not trying unless you cheat. That's what I was taught.
Okay.
Yeah, you apply that to certain aspects of your life, you'll see your own results. But within sports, you're not trying 100% unless you cheat a little bit. So I felt like I would have made my forefathers proud since I was doing illegal actions and getting away with them, stuff like that.
Okay.
I say all that to say this: we got swept.
So So now I'm questioning. You said you added 2 people.
Yeah.
To a group of 4.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So how was this laid out? So I'm guessing the pros were on the same team.
No, there was just a team that was better than them.
The 2 new people that I called the pros, they were on our team. They were on our side, right? We faced against another, group of motley crew of people. You could tell variations of people had played volleyball or at least had, I would say, at least high school level, like
volleyball training,
volleyball skills. You know what I'm saying? Like they played it as a organized sport.
Okay.
Okay. So
That's
was it
different? You know what I'm saying? It wasn't just like full pickup.
Okay. Was this 3-on-3 or was this a group of 6?
6 on 6.
6 on 6. Okay. Okay.
It ended up being 6 on 6. We did start 4 on 6, and then 2 people came out the rafters and was like, "Yo,
literally like Sting."
You know what I'm saying? Basically, that was kind of the equivalent, like just like Sting. Like they were just standing there, like, "I can't watch this handicap match happen. Let me bring me and my bat in and let me put some work in."
That's funny.
Okay.
I just imagine that gif of the Sting taking off the mask.
My bad.
No, I was just saying, I imagine that gif of Sting taking off the Sting mask and it's just Sting underneath.
Oh, no. They did take off the mask, and it was another Sting mask underneath there. All right? And then we took off another mask, and then there was a painted face of Sting mask. Like,
oh, my God. So the other team was clearly... The other team clearly was better.
Huh?
I said the other team was definitely more well equipped, I guess you could say.
Oh yeah, they were prepared. I think they played the game before and then was like, "We do this. We do this." Like,
they practiced.
We live volleyball.
They practiced.
I don't know why the accent came out, but that's what they got. We live volleyball. Now there's a rule that we have to play by. Like if it goes over on your side, if somebody hits it in general and it doesn't go over the net on that first hit, a lady has to hit it in the next 2 shots and get it over. So if we were playing like us 3, and let's say, well, your wife was playing, right?
Okay. Doubt it, but sure.
It got hit, huh?
I said doubt it, but sure.
I mean, just hypothetical.
Yeah.
I got you.
Whatever reason.
Yeah, absolutely.
Gary hits it, you hit it. Now she has to be the last person to hit it.
The 3, yeah.
Okay.
And knock it over, right?
Yeah.
Or if Gary hits it, she hits it. If it don't go over when she hits it, you can now hit it and make it and put it over. Like a lady has to hit it in the sequence in there.
Okay.
Right?
Interesting.
I've messed up at least 3 times.
He was just,
meaning like you touched it and then like the other player touched it and then you touched it again?
Yeah.
Okay,
like the lady didn't get a shot because I'm used to, if the ball's in the air, I'm covering over in that area in some way, shape, or form to, like, you know, how people mess up the hit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm trying to catch the flower.
I just imagine him diving for it.
So that happened a couple times, and, you know, everybody gave me the mean look again. It was like, he called it. I was like, my bad. I'm an all-in type of person. Like, I have a singular focus when I'm playing volleyball.
Right.
They treating you like Kevin Love out there.
Right, exactly.
I said they treating you like Kevin Love out there.
Man, that's how I felt. All right.
That's hilarious.
I'm not sure if I'm not going to be traded when the next game comes. I might be getting the Cleveland treatment and get shipped off.
You're not on our team. Like you're not on our team anymore.
I'm not going to get Dwayne Wade and get to go back to Miami. But that's here nor there.
Right.
So we got swept. 3 games in a row. One game was pretty ugly. All right, let's just say we scored 3. I think 3 out of 15.
Jeez.
I mean, yeah, that was the score. 15 to our 3. Like,
okay.
That was the score.
Ooh.
Now the other games were definitely more competitive, right? But this one dude just went on the onslaught and he was just murdering everybody. All he needed to do was like the Serena grunt. And I would have thought, like, we would just get manhandled. You know what I'm saying?
He was a pro.
Like all aces. Like, it was just all power.
Right.
Couldn't figure it out. I've taken too many losses this week. Like, those are 2 losses. I turned in a final.
Okay.
That was a win. That was a win. I have to count that as a win. But, I tried to cook food to eat while working on my final. All of the food was freezing burnt. That was another loss.
Oh, God, that's terrible.
I had to throw out like $15 worth of chicken.
That's even worse than if you burn it yourself.
Yeah.
because you feel like you're okay, and then you get that you know that smell. Then you're like,
yeah, I was like,
fucker.
Well, here's the catch. I can't smell very good, but the food looked that messed up, and the way it was cooking, I was like, no.
It's like popping
no.
smoking.
This is bad. I showed somebody a picture, they was like, hell no, don't eat that.
Throw it away.
But
burn the house down.
But it's been paid for, like,
right.
And I figured, you know, probably shouldn't get the flu than food poisoning.
Oh God.
You know what I'm saying? Those might not be two back-to-back things that are smart to have. So, that's my life.
Nice.
You can find me anywhere out here on these waves.
I'm really glad
Twitter.
you got to join us. Are you just gonna leave now? If you just left that, I would love that. That'd be funniest thing ever. That'd be the funniest shit if you just like, I just want y'all to know how my life's going. Bye. Just left. Like, oh Jesus. All right, that works.
We'll see if any more losses come my way.
That works. Hopefully it's positive from now on.
We'll play them accordingly. But yeah, man. Yeah, I'm the Kevin Love of volleyball right now.
This is our Holy Week, so we can't be no negative energy this week.
This is our Holy Week?
Yeah, we are leading up to the holiday, which is the release of Black Panther.
Wait. Shout out to all the brothers, sisters, all that around the city, the state, you know, globally, who's making moves, doing positive things out there, who ain't getting their love and shine. I forgot the people I wanted to shout out because they're doing, like, you know, small businesses or helping people or raising community centers, stuff like that. I forgot who to shout out. Forgive me, blame it on my mind, not my heart.
If you'll remember it, we'll just do it at the end then.
Yeah, I'll probably forget again. But I just want to shout them out because it's Black History Month, so, you know, shout out to my brothers.
Yeah.
I'm talking about y'all too now. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to y'all. And,
appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. Of course.
And I can't wait till Black Panther comes out. That's it. I'm done.
That works.
Absolutely. Well, in this case, on the topic of Black Panther, I was going to sit there and segue into something else.
Do you want me to do my week or no?
Oh, yeah.
I don't have to.
So
really.
we overlooked you completely.
We kind of did it already with the Arthur Carbon. That was other than that.
How's Gary's life?
He hasn't gone yet, no.
No,
I got his. It was easy. Man, you know, everything's going all right. You know, work ain't been too crazy for us. You know.
Damn, you got you figured out like that?
Chilling, playing Monster Hunters, waiting on this Black Panther movie to come out. You know, glad to be a part of the show. That's it. You know, living, man.
The one thing is, this is the 1 week where work was batshit crazy. So that's the only reason. Because I would have just let it go because I was like, fuck it. But this has been one of the longest weeks. No, you nailed it pretty much. Other than that, but the problem is that the week was so busy as far as work goes. So kind of a shitty thing, I guess you could say. Before we get into the topics, is work was busy because there were 5 murders before Wednesday.
Oh, wow.
People die every day, B.
I know, but this is like 15-year-old kids, so it's worse.
Oh, man.
Yeah. And except for the first one. First one got killed out of town, but there was 4 in town, so that was crazy before Wednesday. So we went through all that stuff, and it's just one of those things. It was kind of a back-to-back, just one after the other. Just craziness. But and then I went to a vigil thing on Thursday. So it was one of those things. It was one of those weeks, which is it's one of those weeks that pops up every once in a while in news in general, but it's one of those things that's even harder to see, especially when it's younger kids. I mean, we're talking about 15 to like 19-year-old kids. One lady was older, but that one was out of town, like in Danville. But yeah. So other than that,
She just died.
What'd you say?
She got murdered or she just died?
No. No, she got murdered.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
The baby.
Yeah. But no, she was older. She was older. But
Hey, man, older people turn into babies too. So the baby.
shut up, you're stupid. But yeah, so anyways, yeah. So Brent nailed it. Except for that part.
Yeah.
It was actually a busy week for once at work, but other than that, yeah, Brent pretty much nailed it. I'm just gonna let Brent take care of it from now on. Don't have to worry about it.
Well then.
I don't know your life like that, sir. And you don't want to give me control of interpreting your life.
You got pretty close.
I mean, we'll do what's your life like next time. I got you.
Yeah, it works. You view my life through the lens of a PlayStation headset. or through text messages. Between me and Brent. That's usually the way it is between me and Brent.
When you join in the group, man? When you join in the group? Because you be on. Time to time.
Oh, me?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you. Like, when you join in the group, like, everybody be, you know, all the camaraderie.
Well, we just gotta.
Chat.
We just.
Like, what are you doing, man?
All we have to do is just get him Monster Hunter, and if he gets DBZ, then we'll all have Dragon Ball. We'll be good.
Well, if I do, it's gonna have to hold off because Ninja Turtles is coming out Tuesday.
That's right.
So
Fuck, I forgot about that. Oh.
I mean, you can play any game you want.
I'm sure I could.
We can all play like a common game together, but we still talk that shit either way.
I get you.
Of course, yeah.
I don't want to hear you and Jacob argue again.
Does he still watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
I think he does. I don't know though. I haven't talked to him about it in so long. It's been forever.
What?
By the way, I told Jacob this.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you all.
Mm-hmm.
I was asked by one of the listeners of the show.
Mm-hmm.
Did Jacob pull was it Family Matters, where the daughter went upstairs and never came back down?
Well, yeah, there's that. Yeah, there's that, and then the wife swap thing.
Like, the question is almost like, where is Jacob? Like Carmen Sandiego or Waldo? I was asked that question. I didn't know how to answer. And I was like, he alive?
I like that as a theory.
Any of y'all watch Community?
Yeah.
Okay. Jacob pulled a Donald Glover. He got on a boat with LeVar Burton and hasn't come back to the show just yet.
Left for good. I forgot about that.
Speaking of viewers or listeners, as we can put it, shout out to Teddy from the Why Not podcast.
Yeah.
He sit there and definitely showed some love for a recent episode. Had a lot of feedback to provide.
Yeah, definitely appreciate it.
And so I mean we appreciate that at this point in time. So yeah, especially just. By all means, those listening, those watching, if you like what you're hearing, if you don't like what you're hearing, regardless, let us know and we will sit there and shout you out, and we'll sit there and, if depending on the argument, debate it or just let it fly.
I mean, we've had good conversations in the past, of course. I mean, on different ones. So yeah, definitely. We always embrace that and welcome it every time anybody especially wants to discuss or talk about any of the topics or give us topics for that matter.
True.
What do we got on the docket today, though?
Okay.
One more sidebar.
What's up?
I know we gotta go. One more sidebar.
What's up?
On the topic with Teddy. Teddy from the Why Not podcast, which is now on under the Black Astronauts Network.
Nice.
Black Astronauts Podcast Network, I think. Go check them out. I'm in their group, right? Mm-hmm. One of the members has, for the last 2 months, been trying to figure out who the hell is Mr. Brent. Right?
That's
so
fine.
I do their Patreon, and
Nice.
I am Mr. Brent.
Very nice.
As you all know from this show. So I'm gonna shout out Ray because she thinks she figured it out, but until she hears this episode, she cannot confirm. So this is your confirmation.
Cannot confirm nor deny.
I may be Mr. Brent.
Gotcha.
I may or I may not.
Okay.
Who knows? But that shit's hilarious because every episode they shout out like Patreon, and then they started renaming me.
That works.
Like they got upset. They was like, Mr. Brent, are we not on a first name basis?
I thought Brent was the last name.
That's good. I like that. That's good.
You know what I'm saying? So shout out to their crew. Shout out to Teddy. Teddy always showing love. And I'm done.
Go.
I'm done.
All
right. What do we got on the docket today?
All right, then. Let's go ahead and talk about stuff that's happened throughout this week, or this previous week, I should say. Mm-hmm. How many of y'all kneeled during the Super Bowl?
Nobody.
Everybody kneel
was I
while
doing?
watching the Super Bowl.
I think I might have been
I
laying
didn't watch
down.
Super Bowl at all.
Oh, you didn't?
Did I watch it?
Okay, well, you were stronger than I was.
Oh yeah, I was at work, so I couldn't.
You know what I'm saying?
I was at work, like driving. I think probably when it started.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But
I was actually in the car.
It would be weird for me to kneel in my own house.
That'd be funny. I like the visual.
I typically don't even listen to the beginning. Like, I'll just switch the channel and come back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I wasn't around for the anthem either, so I guess that kind of counts.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah, I didn't flip to it till like.
You did it intentionally.
I'm going to get snacks.
Yeah, I think that's pretty much what I was doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was. I was getting something to drink and I was getting some chips and salsa.
I mean, that's literally what everybody in the country does. When the anthem comes on, you go get, like, make sure you got everything you need. Make sure all your dips are in order. Make sure your drink is full. Make sure the beers are in order.
It's like one of the weirdest parts of a game, like of the ceremony of a game.
Yeah.
Is that, like, you're there and then all of a sudden they're like, please rise for the national anthem.
Right.
And it'll be singing by this nobody. And,
Jesus. At least it was somebody this year.
Who was it?
It was Pink.
Oh, okay.
Pink.
Well then.
it was who?
Pink.
Did she do her Cirque du Soleil shit?
No, she
Cirque du
didn't.
Soleil
No,
shit?
she
Excuse me.
bodied it, though. She did a really good job, but no, she didn't do her awesome, like, acrobatic stuff.
They didn't put her up there with Whitney and stuff, so she didn't do a good enough job.
They actually did. A lot of people did. It was a funny thing. Yeah, they put her as, like, number 2.
I don't believe it.
They put her as number 2. A lot
Well,
of
if you
people
didn't
put
watch it, what do you?
under Whitney.
No, I mean, I'm not going to watch it still, but I like to hear the discussion, like, somebody one day has to top Whitney. Because everybody's like, no matter how good you did, you now have to go up against Whitney. And if you do Super Bowl, Prince or Michael Jackson, right?
Yeah, the halftime
You do
show.
the
We'll get
halftime
into
show.
that. We'll get into that.
Yeah, I figured.
Oh, I'm ready.
All right then. Well, in this case, let's go ahead and fast forward then. Shout out to the Philadelphia Eagles. Congratulations. All you bandwagoners,
Yeah.
get off they nuts.
One person in particular I want to shout out definitely is Jeremy, our buddy
Yeah.
Bird. He is one of the only.
Is he still drunk? Like, I'm wondering, because it was his birthday and they won the Super Bowl.
He probably is, because he's literally been one of the few people I've known that's been an Eagles fan as long as I've known him. And
Shout out, Bird.
yeah, shout out to him for sure.
Shout out to Bird. Go figure. He'd be an Eagles fan.
Oh yeah,
so,
absolutely. It fits perfectly.
Yeah. He's like the first Eagles fan I ever knew. So
Yeah, definitely.
shout out to him. I think I sent him a message. I don't even know if it was the right number. I sent somebody under his
Somebody
name
got a
message
damn
saying,
congratulations
"Hey,
message.
that Super Bowl was for you."
Somebody got a message.
And that made their day too.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Unless they were a Patriots fan and it wasn't the right number. Oh man, but yeah. So what we got?
All right then. Well, in
We're
this case,
starting.
on the same topic of the Super Bowl, this kind of goes with the previous episode 83,
Mm-hmm.
where we were pretty much just making fun of Justin Timberlake.
Yeah.
So, thoughts on that Super Bowl performance, or that halftime performance? Excuse me.
I don't know. I think. I mean, there was nothing that stood out really. Nothing was like outstanding. There were no moments of like, oh my god, this was amazing. Like, for instance, like the Prince when it started Purple Raining, like for real, like stuff like moments like those you remember as far as Super Bowl performances. Just in the past, I mean, Janet's titty, all the good stuff, all the classics.
Also, Justin's fault.
yeah, right, yeah, all the classics. But one of the things that like I just saw that I was trying to, I guess, avoid and actually have like I'm gonna see and kind of judge this as it is, and it wasn't great. It wasn't, like I said, it wasn't nothing outstanding. One of the things, I mean, of course, everybody was going after him from the jump. Even beforehand, when everybody found out about the Prince thing, which is so funny because I didn't tell you guys because we were having that discussion on the last episode, and I had looked at my phone when we were in the middle of the episode, and I thought like in my head, but I thought I was thinking about saying it out loud, but I was like, oh, speaking of Prince, and like we were in the middle of like talking about Prince, I was like,
Right.
Justin's gonna have like a Prince hologram,
Well-
and I was gonna say it, but then I was like, then we'll be here all night, so I didn't say it
Man.
then. So I was fine with the performance. I didn't have any issues with it. He did the thing that I found interesting is the fact that he only did Filthy. Like he knew the classic shit that everybody wanted to hear.
Exactly.
The hologram thing wasn't a hologram, obviously, but the fact that they did it that way, I was fine with it. Plus, it's one of my favorite Timberlake songs. mashed up with literally my favorite Prince song, so I was double fine with it. Because anytime I get to hear "I Will Die for You," I'm like, yeah, fucking do it 1,000 times over. But yeah, that was my whole thing. But I there was a lot of people that were generally just kind of like spitting, like just were like, it's fucking garbage. But a lot of people were like, yeah, that was good, it was fine, whatever. Yeah, it was okay. And that was generally, it seemed like a general tinge of mediocrity that kind of befell the whole thing in general. And he touched, like I said, he did his hits, and of course he ended with the most commercial poppy fucking song, which is that damn troll song. Which it was cute to see Anaya like get excited for the halftime show when that song came on.
Okay, I'm glad you brought up the word mediocrity because that's exactly how I felt this performance was. He honestly just looked like he was going through the motions, in my opinion, and I really wish they would have sit there and did something else. But obviously, Filthy was listed as a single. It was his first single for that album. Yeah. So sure, would have been nice if he had used like a different song from the album that we actually would enjoy. Oh yeah. But yeah, with having an artist get up there for the halftime show, of course they're going to go through their hits. Yeah. Because because if it's the halftime show, most of the people that are watching ain't going to know shit about like the discography or the deep cuts or anything like that. Especially an album that came out that week. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. You're talking about that. Yeah. Yeah, because we recorded the day before the Super Bowl. Yeah, I thought you were gonna say like albums that came out like way back, like Justified or something like that. Oh yeah, no. As far as or even that, yeah, no deep cuts, just shit that you know for a fact was on the radio, stuff that you know was a hit. Yeah. To go from there. So I'm kind of glad that he went through those songs, he didn't have as much oomph into it either. No. He seemed like you said, he seemed like he was going through the motions. Yeah. Which I wonder how much it plays into, because that was one of the things I had to explain to one of my producers. Is they were talking about it at work, and they were just saying, they was like, it's just kind of like annoying that they just kind of like get the recorded track and you just kind of hear the recorded track primarily, but then you hear them singing, but it doesn't seem like, because his whole argument was, he was like, how's he dancing that much and singing? And I was like, well, first off, he wasn't really dancing that much. and then I was like, second, it's recorded. Like the NFL has been making them record the track like basically a 1-to-1 performance. That way, if anything happens or if they go rogue and do something weird, that they can just basically flip the switch and turn off their mic and all they have is a track. Yeah. And plus, I'm pretty sure the acoustics of having to perform in a stadium is going to be it's a little trash. Yeah, absolutely. Especially if that's not what the NFL is used to broadcasting also. Right. Yeah, exactly. They're specifically for the game. Yeah. So as far as trying to cater to a halftime performance with that much levels of music and tonality, and trying to get at the the levels and all that other stuff. But no excuses for I'm not trying to make excuses for him. Right, yeah. Regardless, it like I said, I felt it was mediocre. I felt he was going through the motions. Yep. I'm glad that he went through a majority of his songs. If he had ended it off of Mirrors, that'd have been dope. But of course, he had to end it off of the troll song. He's like, the kids, as you mentioned already, the kids were sitting there getting excited for that. Yeah, absolutely. I got worried because at first, like, as far as everybody said, oh, he's going to do a Prince hologram. He's going to do a Prince hologram. It's like, oh, y'all are just, come on. I get it. We hate him right now, but you ain't got to sit there throw that out there. And then, boom, right on a projection on a blanket is Prince. Yeah. And I was kind of going like, oh, yeah, at first, but then I was like, well, I mean, it's technically not a hologram. Yeah, I mean, it's literally the footage from the original video. Yeah, and so that's why I was like, okay, he didn't make anything new. And for the light show they did for the city, that was cool. I liked where they showed the symbol. I did like that. From a production standpoint, there was a lot of stuff I liked. Like on the camera side, I like the fact of doing like those continuous tracking shots between different stage locations while he switched songs. I really like that. Like when he walked over and then when he the tracking shot when it followed him back and then it swiveled around, then he started doing I forgot the name of the song. I woke up this morning, the one that went into Prince. When he got to the piano. End of Time. Yeah, when he did End of Time and it kind of tracked around and then he was on the piano. I was like, okay, that's cool. And then, like, when he did the thing, when he was like, this one's for you, Minnesota, I was like, okay. I was like, yeah, I can understand. Like, if you're going to do something like that, I mean, it's in Minnesota, whatever.
And the fact that when it jumped up and I was like, oh, that's from the video. Like, okay, that shouldn't tick people off too bad. It's just old footage.
Yeah.
And then when they pulled out, which I would assume that obvious had been planned, but I think that circumvented it even more, where it was like you saw the clip a little bit on, like, obviously the people in the stadium saw it the whole time, but at home, you got more so the hit was the city and his symbol. So it wasn't really, I don't think the hologram outrage really has any steam after that.
Yeah. And also it's funny to see on the timeline, it's like, Prince didn't even fuck with you like that. Prince didn't even fuck with you like that.
Yeah.
And it's like, all they did was sit there and take shots at each other. And they didn't beef like how it was with Prince and Michael Jackson.
No, yeah, exactly.
Where somebody attempted to run somebody over.
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly.
We'll probably get into that. We could probably get into that based on the person who was telling that story.
Yeah, we gotta go into all that.
Okay.
Good Lord, that was
I didn't even add that into the topics, but I forgot all about that. We may have to throw that in there.
Yeah,
so.
There was a bunch of crazy stuff.
You know what? Fuck it. We may just go ahead and get right into that.
That works for me.
Because we said what we needed to say about Mr. Timberlake.
Yeah, unless Brent has anything else extra to add. I think Brent's dead. All right, Brent's dead.
No comment.
Okay, okay, that works.
Fair enough.
So go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
All right. So. The article was by Vulture, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so.
Okay, and there was an interview.
Yeah.
I feel bad for not remembering the name of the author.
Mm-hmm.
The author of this Vulture article with an interview with Quincy Jones.
God, that's so funny, man.
And man, you could tell this man is on his way out of this mortal plane. And he is dropping off any and all fucks.
Yeah, exactly. Like, shit that happened in the 80s. I don't give a damn. I'm telling everything.
Man, we want to... Let me see if I can find the highlights from it and go from there.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be the main thing.
Okay.
This article came out this past week. And everybody's just been it's been one of those things where you never thought you would get this many little nuggets of like... extremely interesting and like what the moments from Quincy Jones, because you expect you're gonna do a Vulture article with an artist with a producer as big as him, you're probably gonna get stuff about his discography and how was it working with Michael Jackson, like just basic kind of stuff, but fun stuff to hear. But man, it was just like very very very, I don't know, like deep cut stories that you would never think you would hear. And I mean, there's so many different pieces. Like even the Richard Pryor thing.
Man, oh, well, okay. Well,
that's
we'll
big
just go
one.
Into that.
That's a big one.
Well, I think the fact that
start with the one. What'd you say, Brent?
Which Richard Pryor thing?
Okay.
Oh,
okay.
Okay. Well, then.
So go ahead.
Well, then,
please.
Well, hold on. What? If the Dirty Deed bit didn't happen, I would have sit there and did my intro with this. But let me get into that then, because Mr. Quincy Jones was bigging up Marlon Brando something serious to the point where I didn't feel like he needed to throw this in there. But hey, all right then. Let me see. Let me actually find the bit of it so I can actually read it off for you. And oh God, I forgot about that shit he said about Trump and Ivanka.
Yeah, he was wild.
Wow.
So you're about to read what it says, right?
Yeah,
I'm about to read the. Oh, so go ahead.
Okay. But no, while you grab that real quick, I heard another thing about Richard Pryor, that he apparently was putting cocaine in Pam Grier's
I forgot about that. Yeah.
vagina, and then that made her not be able to have a baby.
Yeah.
Like there's a whole lot of stuff on Twitter that's just like dropping a whole lot of tea on just stuff. Now, if it's 100% true, that I can't confirm.
Well, she wrote about it.
Yeah, she wrote about it.
She straight up wrote about it.
She wrote about it in her book. She wrote about it in her book, so that's true.
Now, this one makes that look like standard news compared to this. And the other big part of it is, it's one of those things when you say it, you're like, all right, now he's lost it. All right, he's crazy. But then you get the confirmation on the back end, and you're like, get the fuck out of here, man.
As far as that feeling of like the curtain being pulled back on somebody's legacy in a sense.
Yeah, you're like, what?
Because one of the thoughts that he brought up was Michael Jackson stealing some of his parts of music.
Yeah, that was a big one. Yeah.
He mentioned Billie Jean, and he mentioned "Don't Stop Till You Get Enough."
Yeah, he was like, he stole stuff all the time.
Which is kind of interesting because which is in a sense that hip hop we sample.
Yeah.
We sit there and some people take certain flows and go from there.
Cadence stuff.
So I wasn't too bothered by that compared to other people.
No.
But
it was just the way he said it, though.
Yeah. He just threw it out there. It's like, yeah, that nigga stole.
He's like, what? Wait a minute.
All right.
Trust me, for a nigga that says nigga, that nigga says nigga
all the time. All right, so let me read this part here. Okay. Well, he's like, do these musicians know tango, macumba, Yoruba music, samba, bossa nova, salsa, cha-cha? Maybe not the cha-cha. And then Quincy added, Marlon Brando used to go cha-cha dancing with us. He could dance his ass off. He was the most charming motherfucker you ever met. He'd fuck anything. Anything. He'd fuck a mailbox. James Baldwin, Richard Pryor, Marvin Gaye. What, he slept with them? How do you know that? Frowns. Come on, man. He did not give a fuck. You like Brazilian music?
Yeah,
and he just changed the subject like a
That was the funny thing about it. He did that multiple times where he would just like throw the stuff in there like it was normal. So yeah. Now on that nugget of information, it was confirmed by Richard Pryor's wife.
Oh, okay. I didn't catch that part.
That was the part that kind of like came out after the fact, where it was like, okay, he's crazy now.
Yeah, and the timeline was sitting there going like, it's like, oh yeah, yes, y'all didn't know that Richard Pryor was bi? Not really, nah.
No.
But that line was like, you so fine, I'd suck your daddy's dick.
Yeah.
I now finding that adds a bit more context to it than I originally thought. I thought it was just a funny ass line.
Right. Oh man. It's funny.
So I just seen a video. Somebody in my Big Dave from the last episode.
Mm-hmm.
He dropped a video in a chat that was Richard Pryor doing a stand up, and he was like literally talking about him sucking dick.
Right.
He was like talking to an audience. He was like, "Man, y'all act like y'all ain't never sucked dick before." He was like, "Oh, now," and then you could tell that he was not joke. Like it wasn't a joke. Like he was being serious, and then the crowd didn't react the way he wanted, and he was like flipped it in a way that made it more humorous. But he never stopped saying he was like, "Yeah, fuck the dick." He was like, "You get dick addicted." Dick addiction. That's what he said. You get dick addiction.
Of course.
Suck a dick. You can only do it once. You can only do it 2 or 3 times. Because anything more than that, you'll get a dick addiction.
Oh, well, see, the way I thought you were talking about him flipping it was like, you kiss your chick on the mouth, don't you? Or you tasted dick or something. I thought that's what you were going for.
I thought he was going to say
see, that would have definitely got him. You know what I'm saying? That would have kept it ambiguous. But no, he stayed in the moment and was like, flipped it, but made it like.
That's funny.
He doubled down on the dick.
Oh no!
Okay, no. That might be the episode title.
Right? Yeah. That was God, it's so good.
So
man.
the question: does this change your idea of Richard Pryor's legacy in any way?
No,
not really. No,
he's still fucking hilarious.
It didn't change mine either. I was like,
he's still fucking hilarious.
Actually, I thought the dude was going to be bi anyway. Like from all the stuff he said and how much cocaine they were doing and shit like that, I was like, yeah, I'm pretty sure.
You know what this made me think of?
Make you suck your daddy's dick. Like that ain't no normal shit.
You know what this made me think of? If you've ever seen the episode of The Office where they were talking about something. They were talking about somebody being gay in the office. And they were they do those little pull away interviews, and like they had Creed, and Creed was like, I did a lot of drugs in the 60s. He said I had a lot of sex with a lot of people, a lot of women. A guy could have slipped in there every once in a while. And it's like that's exactly what that makes me think of. It's like, of course a guy could have slipped in there.
Do a confession. I ain't never watched The Office.
Oh, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, no, that's exactly what that made me think of. He's like, man. Maybe a guy. He's
Community.
Okay, got you. I haven't seen all of the Community, so that works.
Well then, in this case, if we're talking about, in the topic of on the topic of music and sexual ambiguity, I guess.
Yep.
Well, his comment about the Beatles being overrated. Does anybody disagree with that, or anybody have or care to comment about that?
Beatles are not one of my favorite things.
Right.
I think that what's the big album? The White Album?
Yeah.
No.
White Album.
White Album, Yellow Submarine,
Or Sgt. Pepper's. Sgt. Pepper's is that's my favorite one.
Listen to it. I don't think it's up there. I put it down there with Lauryn Hill's Miseducation. Like, hey.
Yeah.
Like necessary, but not
just not your cup of tea.
Not personal. Or,
yeah,
it's necessary for the culture, but just not personal, but not personally something that you admire.
You know what, Webb? I'll take that out. Yep.
Okay.
Yep, I'll take that. I don't even feel like just going all, shooting the flames at these, but I think the Beatles are overrated. But I know people who are diehard, Beatles fans.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, they were the most offended at
it. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you feel? Cool. It don't move me the same way.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't really care.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, you sure Beatles probably, maybe, yeah. I mean, I could probably think of more influential artists, but yeah, as far as like, well, they paved the way, it's like,
right, yeah, we don't have to get it, yeah. Like, I dig Sgt. Pepper's and all that good stuff, and I dig the Grey Album more than I dig the White Album by itself. So,
but at least they never pulled some shit like U2 does, where they sit there and just put your album on your phone.
Yeah, it's like, dude, like if I want to listen to your album, I'll fucking find it.
Right.
Don't get out of my phone.
Wait,
all right.
U2 did a Jay-Z put the album on your phone?
They did it before Jay-Z.
U2 did it before Jay-Z.
Oh, before Jay copied them.
Yeah.
Okay. I still didn't like it, so that's cool.
Yeah, every iPhone was like automatically installed with that shit. But yeah, what were you saying?
Okay, so on the topic of sexual ambiguity in music, there was this, I guess you could say freestyle. Mm-hmm. I can't remember the name of this person, but he showed up on the Breakfast Club.
Just walked in.
Well, no, he was a guest. He was clearly a guest. And he spit a verse.
Okay.
And I'm not sure how much of this is going to sit there and help, or this might cause some problems as far as monetization. For the video version, so I may have to do some editing there. But the audio version, I'll probably keep it in there. It's about 44 seconds long.
Okay.
Viewer discretion is advised in this instance. All right, so let's go ahead and play it. Let me make sure the volume is where it needs to be. Nope, that is for the ringtone.
Oh, you're playing it?
Yeah, he's gonna play it.
I'm about to play it. I don't know if you had a chance to hear it from the
No, I've heard it, but I was looking at Charizard the God, his reaction, and
Charizard?
I was trying to figure out.
Oh, go ahead.
I was trying to figure out Charizard the God's reaction. Because the little tagline was like, maybe he's too into it.
I got you. Hold on. Let me go ahead and finish this at least, so that way they figure out what the hell we talking about. So let me go ahead and, of course, it already started without me. So how about this?
Good, make a baller wanna twirl. Bobby better known for breaking hearts. Bars like a booty hole tight, nigga topping all the charts. Rapping like he back in 89, red bone so fine. Best MC of all time. My stank walk make all the dudes wanna hump. Caught your man daydreaming, he was thinking about this rump. Some say my mouth foul, so what? The game turned filthy ever since. Trina told us she would when she's 10. All because I like a little cock in my butt. Nigga, fuck me slow. Never said I like it rough. If you ain't putting down on my bills, you can bite your tongue, motherfucker, that's real. Nah, I ain't Jenny from the block, but my ass so fat, make a bottom wanna top. All this queer house music need a stop. Blow your whole head off, you calling that hip hop? All right.
The thing
Make a bottom want to top.
The thing that I like about that whole video, like not watching it, like if you just play the sound, is listening to the reactions. Because there's like at the beginning they're like, "Oh, that's dope," then all of a sudden in the middle they're like, "What the fuck?" And then at the end they're like, "Wait, don't be problematic, yay!"
Okay, so that's what you took from that.
That's the reaction I got from it. Yeah.
All right, so your thoughts on that verse?
Because who was that? Was that everybody?
Everybody in there?
Yeah, like Charlemagne and
Charlemagne, DJ Envy, and Angela.
Angela Yee. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know if there was anybody else in there.
If there was, I didn't catch it.
Okay.
So
yeah, they're not on the video.
Okay, so okay, did you have an opinion on that, Brent? Before I get in.
When I looked at it, I was trying to see if Charizard the God was actually making fun of the
Why do you keep saying Charizard?
That's what he calls him.
I don't call anybody the God. So
you're still saying Charizard.
But that's a fake animal though. That's fake. It's a Pokemon.
Since season 2. He's Charizard the God.
But you still calling him God?
No, he's not calling him the God. He's calling Charizard the God.
Charizard the God.
Then
So
just
the
say
Pokemon's the God.
why not just Charlemagne and leave it? Or
I don't know, I've been
CTG?
doing it for too many episodes now.
I feel like a flute should play every time you say his name.
So it's like, we worshiping Pokemon again? It's bad enough we had to figure out which Pokemon were racist.
Oh, yeah, that was funny. One of our better moments.
Charizard is that dude. But
All right, fine. Okay, I'm sorry, but go ahead. I was curious. Well, wait.
I'll try to call him Charlemagne. There we go. So I was trying to figure out if Charlemagne was actually promoting the song or making fun of the song, like making fun of the dude rapping. And I couldn't get a sense of where he lied on the like in that spectrum. Like if he was for the song or against the freestyle, or for the freestyle or against the freestyle.
He does that a lot.
Personally, the dude's lyrics, when I heard them, I was like, I don't want it. I mean, I didn't want to hear them. Like, they're just, I mean, express how you feel, cool. He didn't say any crazy bars in there, so I would have to say, like, freestyle was so-so. I would give it a bronze.
Yeah, it was,
freestyle.
Yeah.
But something different definitely was, and if Trina can say the same lyrics and get away with it, he basically just gave me a Trina freestyle.
So is he a openly gay MC?
Clearly.
I mean, I figured.
Clearly. Well, look at him.
I
mean, wait, that sounded terrible. That sounded problematic as hell the way I said that.
Sorry, that was horrible. You stop that.
Okay, well then here, let me state my case.
Yeah, I mean,
let me state my case then.
What was your thought, sir?
All right. So I have 3 perspectives from this. Okay, from the first perspective, as a straight man, I was like, I don't sit there and I don't see myself listening to this any other time.
Right.
Other than just playing it 3 times now.
Yeah, right. Daily. Yeah.
I was like, I can't fuck with this. Or I don't see myself fucking with this.
Right.
As a person who's done rap, I can sit there and say, oh, well then had this been a female saying this exact same shit, that would have been dope as fuck.
Yeah, I think there was some good.
I mean, so as an MC, I was thinking, well then shit, all right, fine then, go off. Yeah. The cadence, to sit there and like the bravado, to sit there and come out there, especially to say some crazy shit like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I'm not gonna lie, to make the bottom on the top line, I thought was kind of dope.
Yeah, I like it.
So, third perspective, as someone who's aiming to be progressive, that nigga sit there and spoke his truth.
Right. I mean, he didn't lie. So you trying to bullshit around the bush.
No, I mean, yeah. So there he was, right there on the microphone, sitting there just airing it out the way he needs to, and all that good stuff. So, fine. What it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine.
I don't really know what else I thought it was just very interesting to add, as far as to throw that in there into the discussion. And it was funny as hell hearing people's like, oh, what's hip hop going to now? What's hip hop, or what's happened to hip hop and all that good stuff. And it's just like, if this was like, as Brent mentioned, if this was Trina, if this was Lil Kim, we wouldn't have had that problem.
Yeah, nobody would have said anything. Nobody would have said anything if it was a female spitting the verse.
Yeah. And had you not seen what the person looked like, and it was like, oh, that's just a raspy voiced chick. And she was killing it. Right. And apparently she likes it in the butt.
Right, yeah, a lot.
So,
I mean, that's nothing new in hip hop or in music in general. You know what I'm saying? Like, ass stuff, what would you call this, ass play of some sort, has been a subject for many songs.
Yeah.
I feel like I said that right. Yeah.
What's help me out if I got this name wrong. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Oh, I was about to mention. Tell me if Buddy from Brockhampton, is it Kevin Abstract that is openly gay?
I think so. And then there's another guy that was with that group from Arizona that I might have played you before. He had a feature, one of the best verses on one of their songs. His name's Cakes the Killer. He's openly gay.
With a name like Cakes, I mean, yeah, sure.
And it's what, yeah, and I think so. I think the guy from, I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, because like I listened
I think
to
that's his name. I can't remember if it's his exact name.
Saturation. What was the most recent Saturation that came out? 3? Okay,
Yep.
so I was starting to listen to that. I didn't get around to finishing it. I picked a bad time to sit there and play it because I was sitting there. We went grocery shopping and with my wife, and I was sitting there just playing it. And then all of a sudden, he was sitting there talking about giving head to a dude or to his boyfriend. And I was like, "Hey," it was like,
oh, hello.
I did because I didn't know anything about him or anything like that.
Yeah.
And so to sit there and hear that, I was like, "Oh, hey." I didn't know. I wasn't expecting it. I wasn't expecting it.
Did you hear the way? It's art. I mean, it's art.
Right.
I let it go because I mean, like well, fuck it. He said it.
Well, yeah, it's over now. It's already passed.
So it is what it is. And you know, like I said, as far as that, what I just mentioned with damn, I cannot remember his name. I'm mad I can't remember his name now. He's speaking his truth, and that's pretty much all you can really ask for from somebody rapping.
Yeah, exactly.
So
now, what I am interested in here, if he has any beef with anybody, and they do a diss track to his freestyle.
Well, the thing is, I mean, what can you do when it's the truth?
Right.
It's
when
the Eminem effect.
That's
it's the 8 Mile thing.
Yeah.
No, like the Eminem effect, really?
Yeah.
And I don't mean like a diss in like a homophobic diss. No, I mean like somebody basically saying that he's none of those things and
that would
whatever,
be interesting.
You know what I'm saying? Like I think he used the line like "coming out his ass being fat" or I don't know.
So he ain't really
like
putting out like he
somebody,
says he does.
That'd be really interesting.
He ain't
actually.
sucking like he say he sucks.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I wonder if anything like would that happen? Like I probably wouldn't.
Like
I probably
another
wouldn't
gay
come
rapper
across
beefing
it
with
that way.
him.
Yeah, they like a diss to him and in regards like on wax. You know what I'm saying?
You
Yeah.
Like,
ain't
not in a
slanging it like he's
homophobic way,
stinky.
but like,
yeah.
like hip hop, this is battling type way.
Oh.
Well,
You know
then
what I
that's an interesting take.
I mean, I
And-
think in due time we will see that happen more.
No.
Because I don't know. Like for me, like hearing this, was I surprised? No. Like I was like, no, I'm not surprised. Now, what a dude speaking his truth, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, that's what the music. You know what I'm saying? That's what the art's for. You know, do what you do, speak your truth, express yourself however you want. And the way I looked at it, after hearing it, I was like, this is literally nothing new that I haven't heard. It's just coming out of
An MC.
male perspective. You know what I'm saying? Out of a male perspective's mouth. Like, you know.
Damn it, he still
like,
said mouth. I was I was waiting for him to say it, and I was gonna go giggity, but he said perspective. That threw me off. And then he said mouth. It's like, damn it, I missed my. Yeah, there we go.
Good.
That's what I'm here
Giggity.
for. Throw off the time in there.
That's good.
Throw off the time. So, like, hearing this, it don't bother me, stuff like that. I mean, y'all heard me on different episodes. I've been in places, you know what I'm saying? Like, what was it? What was that one spot in Lexington that I said on, like, the very, very first episode that me, Jacob, and Gary were on? It was like Soundbar.
Soundbar. Oh yeah.
Soundbar.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like,
There you go.
was there, like, me not knowing that it was a gay club, or predominantly gay club, however you want to say it. And, like, seeing people, like, run around, jumping in each other's arms, kissing and shit like that. Like after you see it a couple times,
I just imagine Dirty Dancing.
Is it you know, technically a space I prefer to be? No.
Right.
But people being happy, people be happy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, that's what makes you happy. Do what you do.
Right. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? Just don't be twerking by me.
Throw that ass somewhere else, please.
You know what I'm saying?
Throw that ass in that circle.
Yeah, throw that ass in that circle. Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
But yeah, so
Alright.
yeah, let us know what you guys think when you first like listen to that video, watch
Oh
that
my
video.
goodness, that brought up a terrible memory. Oh God.
And yeah, you're stupid. And also, let us know if you thought Charizard was a supportive or trying to crack jokes low key.
Even Gary said it. Charizard. Yeah, Charizard the guy.
Yeah. Well, DJ Envy also got up and applauded too. So I mean, like if I was in that position, I would have straight up been shocked that all that was going on.
Yeah, I would have said, I'd be like, oh, I didn't see that coming.
on the radio.
And then it would probably been like, it'd probably been this. It'd be like, oh, I didn't see that coming. And he'd have been like, it's because I'm gay. And I'm like, yeah, I know that already. All
but
right.
it's like,
conversation
I knew you
done.
were gay, but I didn't know you was going to sit there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was gay.
It's like if you've seen, we were watching it last night.
I knew you was gay, but I didn't know you was that gay.
Right.
Ain't nobody with that.
Tom Segura. Yeah, Tom Segura.
That's how people get them hands.
He was stupid. Tom Segura's got a new stand up, and we were watching it last night. And he was like, you can't say that's gay anymore. He said it's not politically correct. He said it's not. He said you can say it's gay if it's actually something gay. he said, so if you see a bunch of guys in a row and they have their thing in the butts of everyone in front of them and they're marching, I want the cum. Give me the cum. He said, you can be like, that's gay. He said, otherwise you can't say that's gay. And he was like, yeah, that's pretty much true.
Wild.
And it was funny. Everybody in the audience was like, yeah, pretty much. Like you could tell everybody was like, yeah, basically.
That is wild.
But,
oh
yeah.
man. All right.
I love him. He's funny, man.
I just seen something like that on Twitter.
It's hilarious.
Somebody was saying like all these fuck niggas are gay because they fuck niggas or something like that.
Oh,
because they're being gay, something like that. And then somebody like corrected and was like, no, people are these fuck niggas are fuck niggas because they do fuck shit. Don't get that misconstrued with actual people who are gay. It's
Right.
like they're not the same.
Okay, yeah.
Well, I remember hearing something. Well, somebody, I want to research this, but somebody was in there saying that the term fuckboy was actually offensive because that actually implied people that were getting raped in prison and they were being labeled as fuckboys.
Okay.
I check Snopes on that. I don't know. So
more research needed. This could get interesting.
yeah, citation needed.
People that say like, hey, they don't like fuckboys. Are they saying it because they know somebody got raped in prison, and they just don't like them because they were taken advantage of? That's a horrible culture to be. Like, you blame the victim,
Right.
or they just don't like the nonsense that they're
Right.
and they call them fuckboys.
So,
Are they saying that they technically get fucked by the same thing?
oh, come on, man. You were supposed to say, damn it. You had the perfect rhythm. You were supposed to say, are they mad because they get fucked, boy? And then you're supposed to let it go. Come on. That joke was built for you. Come on, man.
Well, speaking of ruining the rhythm,
Yeah.
speaking of ruining the rhythm,
Yeah, what you got?
all right then.
Yep.
So I've had the pleasure of listening to the Black Panther soundtrack
1,000 times.
damn near.
Yeah.
And during my workout yesterday, I had a workout playlist, but I just wasn't feeling it and just decided to just play King's Dead for 45 minutes straight.
That's amazing.
I just kept that bitch on repeat.
That's amazing.
And as I kept lifting, it was like, and I freaked it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I missed 225 and I freaked it.
I mean, that's such a good. So, first and foremost, the album is great.
Yes.
I've seen a lot of people that have been saying basically along the lines of, this used to be something that people did and took pride in, was making soundtracks for movies. And it just kind of became over the years pretty much just a corporate shuffle of what's popular and slightly fits into the tone of this film.
Or just straight up the orchestra from the background.
Exactly.
Like,
which that's fine too. But at the same time, it's nice to have a certain artist, especially one that so matches the themes and tone of this movie, basically be put with bringing artists together and writing songs that also go right along with those themes and tone of the movie. And I think Kendrick and everybody involved for that matter did an excellent job. Like, it's really good. And the whole thing that was interesting, and I was talking to my girlfriend about this yesterday when we were listening to it, is in my head, I was just imagining where like certain songs could be peppered in throughout the movie and stuff. And I was like, oh my God, like if King's Dead comes on during a fight scene or something like that. Oh my God.
I imagine X or King's Dead to pop in when Killmonger is introduced.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Actually introduced.
Yeah.
Now,
Probably
All the Stars by SZA or with SZA.
I think that's gonna be the last thing we hear in the credits. I think that's gonna.
That's gonna start off the credits.
That's what I meant to say. Not the back of it. I mean, like it'll be like literally it'll be fading from the last scene of the movie into the credits.
Okay.
Will be SZA
and I imagine "Pray for Me" with The Weeknd. I imagine it also being in the credits.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where. It might just end it off before we go into the post-credit scene, which will lead into Infinity War. But that's my imagination there. Yeah. So, King's Dead and X. Speaking of King's Dead, Doug, Future really almost ruined that damn song. And like, I remember hearing this a month back.
Yeah.
And I had just straight up forgot about it because I saw this meme. Where Future was sitting there doing his verse, and this guy was sitting there portraying Future.
He kept sneaking in and getting punched in the nuts. You talking about that one?
Okay. I seen that one just yesterday.
That was funny.
There was another one where this guy was sitting there. He was pretty much pretending to be Future. He put his sunglasses on and sitting there just, and I freaked it. Sitting there walking, looking at the camera, and then he sit there and turn. Then he'd sit there and turn from the camera for a split second. Yeah. But then right before the part where he got real high pitched, he wore a jester's hat and a jester's outfit. Yeah, it's like, and then started doing a little river dance or some shit at that part. Stupid. And I was like, that's exactly what I would imagine him to look like when he does that verse.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, yo, why? And the fact that, and the funniest part about that verse is that, you know how, well, obviously you know how a bar goes, but like for those that aren't familiar with rapping, or haven't rapped before.
Bar structure.
Yes. Like normally a typical verse is like 16 bars. You start off with a line and then you try to rhyme with that line. Yep. You can keep rhyming with it as much as you want, but as long as it stays within like an even set. Yeah. As far as those bars go. With Future,
it's
what he did, it was like bar 8. No, it wasn't even a full verse now that I think about it. No. But like maybe like he is at bar 8 and then he did 9 and then it's like saying something, then I freaked it. And then 1999, right at the part where he was supposed to be rhyming. Yeah. And then I'm saying 1999, but he's saying la-di-da-di-da. He said la-di-da-di-da.
I like
1999 makes way more sense.
I like that.
Because, wait a minute, when did Slob on My Knob come out?
That'd be funny. That was probably early 2000s.
If I'm subconsciously.
I feel like that was early 2000s.
I hope it was 1999.
It might have been.
Because if that did, then like that was crazy how my subconscious, how my straight up. Yes, it was released in 1999.
Yes.
Good old Google. That is crazy.
See, you could have improved Future's verse by slightly.
Just straight up.
Got a writing credit in there.
How do you do la-di-da-di-da Slob on My Knob?
And he didn't do 1999.
I just heard what you're talking about. That shit is hilarious.
I love it, man. It's so stupid. Yeah. If you get a chance, Britt, look up the video of the guy like sneaking in and keeps punching him in the nuts. That one's good too because it's funny because the engineer doesn't know what's going on. Like the engineer's like, why is he fucking sound like? Because this dude's like sneaking, like he's got the door like halfway open, and then he just like runs in right at that part and punches him. Then he like keeps like rapping, and that's like but that's funny.
That is easily my favorite. That is easily my favorite song on the soundtrack, and it was almost ruined by that shit.
Yeah, that beat and by contrast, like J-Rock's verse is fucking.
Yes.
Oh my God, he fucking killed it.
His verse is amazing on that shit.
So good.
Oh, and it was also funny to see James Blake sprinkled in the soundtrack like the token white guy.
Yeah, here we go. James, come on. Let's do this.
That's what's up. It's like,
yeah. But one of the things that was interesting, we were talking about it too when we were listening to it yesterday, was I remember us talking about it on here, matter of fact, that one of the complaints we had about DJ Khaled's last album was some of his artist pairings seemed just kind of either random / let's put the popular people together on the same track and it'll sell like hotcakes, whatever. On this, you could tell there was thought in like who was on each song together. Like Anderson .Paak and Solo paired together is fucking tonally perfect.
Yeah.
Putting Khalid and Sway Lee together. Like it's perfect. Like those are perfect pairings. Yeah, and those are pairings you didn't think about too. SZA's assistance on there for like all of the stars. So, I mean, that hook is. I mean, that was the first single I heard off of it. Yeah, because at first I didn't like it as much.
I didn't care for it. I was like, yeah, I could definitely see that on the radio.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, it was like it's whatever. But then like the more I started seeing, or the more I started hearing it, and seeing that music video for it.
Oh man, that video is excellent.
Doug,
that video's really fucking.
I'm bald right now, but like I could have grew my fucking hair out because of that.
So good, man.
That's so Afrocentric.
Yeah, that video is beautiful. The video for all the stars, yeah.
The video for all the stars.
Just that part, because a lot of it they did on stages. I think all of it's on stages, which is really cool because you get a very interesting like play effect to it. Especially like that part where he's sitting in the middle of like the slums with that suit on, that red suit, and then he gets up, raps that verse, and he just like goes and sits back down. Like that video is great, and then the ending part with the like tall like goddesses like walking toward him, like it's that video is excellent, and that, like you said, that assisted that song, me liking that song even more. But I definitely see it being that end credit sequence. I'm wondering if, I hope it is, but I doubt if it will be. I wonder if Run the Jewels made the actual movie and not just the trailers, because that fits so well in that first trailer. But I think they'll probably stick with the stuff from the actual soundtrack. But
ladies and gentlemen of Oafington, apologies for the interruption. Due to rendering the episode, we came across some audio and visual problems in the last 10 minutes. So to recap with our review of the Black Panther soundtrack, Kid Swift on our ranking gave this a platinum, which is the highest rating we have. As far as soundtracks go, I gave it a platinum as well, but as an overall album, I gave it a gold. Once again, thank you very much for your time and listening to us. Catch us at OafDiscussions on all social platforms, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Check us out at OafDiscussions.com. Thank you for your time. Peace. Ladies and gentlemen, that has been OafDiscussions. Please listen to us on Podbean, iTunes, Google Play now, Stitcher, audio episodes on YouTube as well. And so that's all we have today. Thank you very much for listening, and you enjoy the rest of your day.
Appreciate it. Peace.
There we are. OafDiscussions pioneers.
Quickly
confirm.
Make the meme and then put the @ big thing on there with the stupid little graphic like every other goddamn internet comedian does. We got to get these views, baby.